Hey there, welcome to episode 13. This is Fortune 5. Today you see we're outside of the shed. What are we going to do? Well, if you were following on my last video, we're going to be grinding the kukri. So, sit back, relax, enjoy. Hopefully I don't hurt myself. Alright, so here we are. Got our angle grinder. We use the angle grinder first before we use the sanding belt to blast off the majority of the scale and oxide that's built up. We're going to do this in 3 phases. We're going to start with a 24 grit grinding disc. And that's going to knock off the initial. Then we're going to move to a 36 grit flap disc. And that's going to take out some of those grooves that the 24 grit put in there. And then we're going to move on to the 60 grit flap disc. And that's going to clean up the grooves even more. Then once we start on the sander, then we're going to hit it with a 120, a 240, a 320, and then a 400. And that should give us a nice satiny finish and get us ready to throw it into the forge for the heat treat. And then we'll take it out after the heat treat. We'll throw it in the oven, let it sit in the oven for a couple of hours to anneal it so it's not glass. Then I've got some 800 and 1000 grit. We're going to make this puppy shine. So I'm going to change out this disc. Give me just a minute. This is what we've got so far. We've got our basic shape profiled out. We've got it sanded down to 220. And then most importantly, it's a handle. So that's what we're going to sit down and we're going to think about for right now. And we're going to talk about the different options that we have. Option 1, as we've talked about, micarta. Okay, I've got several different flavors here that when they get sanded out, they can give you a bold pattern such as this. It's waterproof, it's sweat proof, it's dirt proof. This could last a long time. The next option we have is a natural wood handle. Okay, I've got 2 options here. I've got cherry and I've got some mahogany. Mahogany can look extremely pretty once it gets sanded down and buffed up. I'm thinking the mahogany handle is going to look the best on here. So I'm thinking that's what we're going to go with. We've got our 2 mahogany scales. This is what we're going to use. Let's move on to the heat treat. So it has occurred to me that I do not have anything big enough to quench this in. So I have to build a tank. Basically what I've done is I've got a 2-piece section of 3-inch PVC pipe. I also have got an end cap Go on the bottom. Okay, keep everything in there. Got a top cap to go on the top. The top cap has a lid. I'll figure out some way to get the base supported on this. I've also got some primer and cement to put this together. And so once I get this all cemented together, it will not leak the oil. You want to make sure you get the right primer and cement. Okay? If you have PVC, which this says clearly on here somewhere, right there, PVC pipe right there by my finger. Okay? You want to make sure that the primer and the glue you get says PVC primer and PVC cement. If you get the wrong cement, it will not hold. It will fall apart, it will leak, you will get oil everywhere, and people will laugh at you. You don't want them to laugh at you. Or do we? Alright. So here's where we are. Okay? Figured out how we're going to quench this bad boy. We built the quench tank for it. We figured out our handle material. Our beautiful mahogany. Alright. So stick around. The next episode, we're going to get that handle fitted on here. We're going to get it finished up and get all the finish polishing done on it. We're going to get this thing looking like a mirror. And then we're going to test it. We're going to chop a couple of melons, more than likely a couple of apples, who knows. Anyway, if you want to see that, if you want to get a notification, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button right below the video there. It's a little red button, you know, right down there. See it? You see it? Right there. Yeah. Click that. Give it a like too. Okay? Share it with your friends. Alright, check us out on Instagram and Facebook as well. Okay? We post stuff there daily. Alright? Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.